Who is your buyer and what do they do? I'm Kylie. This is Game Store 101. A buyer is a crucial role at your game store. Now, there are a lot of different roles, and depending on the size of your staff, one person may have to wear many, many hats. But a buyer is the person who does just that. They buy stuff. They decide what products to bring in and have on the shelves. Now, this is inclusive both of deciding what new things to bring in, as well as deciding what to reorder or what customer recommendations look good enough to bring in. So let's talk about the first one first, solicitations. You are going to get hundreds of emails and solicitations every week of products that publishers, distributors want you to bring in. And you've got to weed through that to decide what that's going to be. Now, I am the primary new product buyer for the board game category here, and I spend many hours a week surfing through emails, looking at things, saying, that looks interesting, let me go a little bit deeper, looking at this and saying, yep, we definitely need to bring that in. I've had customers talk about this. We know this product line is hot. Let's go ahead and bring that in. That is a huge part of what you do, but not the only thing. See, when a buyer's doing their job well, a game store has very little dead inventory. That's products that have been sitting on the shelf that aren't moving, that are taking up capital, that are taking up shelf space, and that often end up getting clearance, or in some way, shape, or form, they need to get out of there. We need to get money back out of it, get it off the shelf, turn it into something else. So if the buyer's doing their job really well, they have a good pulse on what maybe sold super well, but maybe is going to die off. People aren't going to buy as much of it, so let's not bring as much of it in. And what things not to bring in because they don't fit our customer base. They're not things that our staff's going to be excited about, right? So a lot of decisions have to go in every single day, every single week when the buyer's deciding what to bring in. It's also very important that the buyer have a good pulse on the customer base, good pulse on the industry, going to shows, going to conventions, seeing what's out there, making decisions about what's new and what's hot, because the buyer is the curator. The whole tone of the store revolves around your product mix and your product selection. And that's curated by the buyer in order to create the experience that that store is going to have and draw the customer base that that store desires. So a buyer is a very, very key role and honestly takes up a lot more time than you might think. I'm Kylie at Games Unlimited. Go unbox some fun.